September is self-improvement month, and self-improvement can get a bad rep, but is it all bad? In today's video, I'm going to share 7 of my favorite self-improvement books. Why 7? Because when I went through my stack of books, those were the ones that stuck out to me. Do I follow all of these to a T? Do I take these as gospel and think these authors have some sort of magic wand they wave around to fix whatever's wrong with us? Nope. I play the take what you need, leave the rest game. No one book is going to unlock the secret of the universe. No one book is going to fix you, because you don't need to be fixed. We are all individuals, and what works for me may not work for you. And that is awesome, because we are all individuals, we're all unique, and the differences is what makes this world fun. All right, on to the books. I only have 4 of the physical copies of the books. One of them I borrowed to a friend, and the other ones were on my Kindle, so I can't show you those. The first one is Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strayed. Stride. Not sure how she says her last name. Many of you may have heard of this little book called Wild. It was also made into this movie by the same name, starring, that one actress. You may have heard of her, Reese Witherspoon. Anyway, same author, different book. Tiny Beautiful Things is a collection of advice letters that she wrote during her time as Dear Sugar on the Rumpus. And the writing in this book is just beautiful. If you don't like self-improvement books, don't care about it, I would still recommend this book because the writing is just that good. You can also see how much of herself she puts into these letters, how much empathy she has for those who write to her with their deepest, darkest secrets, or whatever you want to call it, the worst moments of their life type thing. And she just really, really cares how she's responding to them. Most of the advice doesn't apply to me, but again, I just really loved the writing in this book. Next up is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. This was the first book I read by Brené Brown. I didn't really know who she was before. And, oh man, I felt like she was writing that book just for me. Like, it hit home hard. I don't know if you've ever read a book like that just speaks to you. If not, it's hard to explain. If you have, you know exactly how I feel. Do you have a book that really spoke to you, like really just hit home? If so, let me know in the comments, because I would love to read it myself. And yeah, now I stan Brené Brown. Next up is The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. I know. This is one of those books where I firmly believe you take what you need and you leave the rest. Or maybe this book is only good depending on the season of life that you're in. I admit I have been listening to her podcast since the beginning. I've read several of her books, all with various opinions on them. And I used to love her podcast and like most of her books. But I have found, since I was diagnosed with ADHD and on medication, that I find myself not really enjoying her podcast as much. And I'm wondering if it's because when I read this book, I was undiagnosed. I was seeking that dopamine hit, that newness of things. And this book offered that in the fact that she goes month by month and gives you ideas of different things to do each month to try to be happier. So yeah, some books are just meant for certain times in your life, and I think that's what this one was. Number 4 is The Pursuit of Happiness by Chris Guillebeau. Guillebeau? Not 100% sure on how to say his last name. Have you ever met someone that has this epic quest or adventure that they want to do? A huge task that they want to undertake? That is what The Pursuit of Happiness is all about. People who have these huge goals and how they've reached them or what happened along the way. And when you get right down to it, the book basically says it's not achieving that goal, it's everything that happened from planning to reaching the goal. So the journey, so to speak, for lack of a better word. I liked this book because I have my own personal quest to see a hockey game in every NHL arena. I was doing pretty good up until COVID and haven't really been anywhere since. To any hockey arenas since. Do you have some big adventure that you would love to do? If so, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what plans you have. Number 5 is My Money, My Way by Kimiko Love. Of all the financial gurus out there, I have liked her book the best. I found it the most relatable, and her budgeting style is also what I've been naturally doing my entire life. So it makes sense to me. It might not make sense to you, so this might not be the book for you. But I found it very relatable, very easy to read. She has stories in here from people that have followed her budgeting method and how they've achieved their financial goals. So it's kind of inspiring as well. Personally, I've read her book, I've read Dave Ramsey, I've read Suze Orman, and this is my favorite. Number 6 is The Brave Athlete, Calm the F Down by Simon Marshall, PhD, and Leslie Patterson. This book is one I would recommend for any endurance athlete. It definitely has a focus on cycling because that is where the interests of the authors lie, but it definitely comes in handy for running as well. It very much addresses the mental aspect and the science of it all. There's a lot of talk about self-esteem, self-efficacy, things like that, and your monkey brain. It is very eye-opening and very helpful. It is one that I plan to revisit. As you can see, I've also marked some spots in here. It really helped me figure out the disconnect between what I want and what my brain sometimes tells me that I want or don't want. So yeah, definitely worth it. Definitely going to look back and reread this one. And number 7 is The Happy Runner by David and Megan Roach. This book is fun. The author's sense of humor definitely comes through here. They also talk about their dog a lot, which anytime you talk about a dog, you've got me hooked. It is for runners, obviously, based on the title, but I think it could help any athlete. It is divided into 2 halves. The first half is kind of the philosophy behind the happy runner and all of the mental stuff that goes along with it. And the second half is all the training kind of stuff. This is another one I plan to revisit because I haven't been feeling too happy lately. All right, let me know in the comments what your favorite self-improvement book is. Then be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share this with someone you know who likes self-improvement books. And until next time, I hope your self-improvement books are as strong as your coffee.